Good day buddies. For today's video, we're gonna be making a vertical high humidity ant farm that we designed for moisture-loving ant species, like these fire ants on the clip. Before we start, please allow me to give special thanks to the most awesome guys on our channel. Jeffrey Miles, Sean, The Hunter Chick, Stefan, Thomas, Sumi Riao, Future Bird, West Virginia Ant Keeper Hazen Jenkins, and Zombie Zealot. Thank you so much for supporting our future project, which is the Members Terrarium, and for making every episodes possible. Let me also say welcome back buddies. And for those new to the channel, you're also welcome to D-Colony. We have these acrylic sheets and strips for constructing nest frame. They'll surround the whole nest for escape-proof design, as we'll be housing one of the best escape artists of the ant kingdom here. First step is drilling holes for the screws on this acrylic frames. We'll drill them together at once to nicely align the holes together. Then I use the frame with holes as guide in drilling its respective cover, which is this sheet. For the acrylic strips I also drilled holes, one for the humidification, one for entrance, and one for expansion. We don't need additional hole for ventilation, as we're building a high humidity setup here. Let's remove this protective papers, and construct the frame. I use masking tape to mark the pieces so they can be placed in order, cause we can mess the alignment of the holes. That can easily happen, especially if we drilled them manually ourselves. Let's put this piece here in the corner, and using another piece at the back to guide it for a 90 degrees angle. Then I use acrylic cement to assemble and bond them together. We'll just press it down for at least 20 seconds and it's good to go. This piece here. Then the frame for this side. And done. We've got this piece here for the base, but we'll glue it later since it'll be in the way for the next process. Let's work on the humidification system. This hole at the top is for the water dropper. But let's start with the pair of water towers in the base. The frames are too shallow, so we'll glue a piece of acrylics to make a basin-like reservoir. And the pair is done. But we'll glue additional piece on the sides to close the space created by the frame edge. We need to do it as the ants will occupy it for sure if left open. We don't want that, as it will block our view of the water level. We'll attach a 100 micron mesh on top of them that will allow evaporation, but will prevent the ants from contaminating or falling to the water. We did the same thing here, and attach a mesh on this 12mm pipe using super glue, and we cut this end slantly at around 30 degrees. The mesh will simply prevent the ants in making the pipe as an escape route, but will still allow us to send water to the concrete directly. I call this a dropper hydration system, and already use it on one of my marauder ant formicarium before. We'll fix it on place permanently using acrylic cement. This will greatly cool and increase humidity inside the nest. We'll see how this system works later. Anyway, to finish the water tower, we cut a mesh for each of them and we'll fix them on top using super glue. We'll let it dry for a day to clear all the fumes out from the glue, as it can stain the glass badly, like what happened inside the reservoir, stained with white spots. We don't want that to happen to the acrylic covers, as that'll ruin the view. The next day I installed the covers using bolt and nuts along with clamps, so we could safely drill the refilling holes on the cover to the tower at once. It's the best time to do it while it's still chamberless. This way we could fix or re-glue it easily, in case there's a leak caused by the drilling. We're good, as there's no leak in both of the reservoirs. Now let's work on the chambers. Put the front glass cover using bolts or clamps. For the chambers we'll use these plates to mold the sand. We got two types of them, a shallow and deep chamber molds. If you wanna see how I made this, you can check this vid up on the iCard or on the description. Anyway, if you decided to use clamps, you'll need to secure bolt ends with masking tape so it won't fall off. If you don't have clamps, you just need extra nuts for each bolts. This way it won't fall off, and will be the one holding the cover tightly while we're working. We got this deep chamber mold, which we'll use on making several see-through tunnels, or the chambers that can be seen from both sides of the vertical nest. Let's use this shorter version first for the entrance chamber, and we'll just fill it with moist sand. This time we're using brown silica sand. We made this mold as high as the width of the nest, so we could easily construct a see-through chamber by just filling this mold. We also set another one on the opposite side, but manually molded this side of the pipe. We have this shallow one for the next chambers, just 10 mm deep, and will only be viewable on one side. Below them is two sets of shallow chambers as well. And here we'll make a huge see-through chamber to host the dropper hydration. And on top of each water towers, we'll set see-through chambers as well. Then I filled it with sanded grout until it reaches the height of the shallow chambers, or a 10 mm level. Then we put tubings filled with moist sand for the entrance and expansion. Next thing we'll do is connect the chambers. We can do it in two different ways. And the first way is by using sand on making connections in between the tunnels, and the second is by using a silicone tubing like this. Just don't forget to cover the ends with extra moist sand. You can fill the tubing with sand then push it in one side, this way you'll only need to block the remaining side manually. On this build I applied a mix of both. Moist sand is used on the horizontal connections between the tunnels, and tubings on the vertical connections. What we'll do next is bridge the shallow chambers to the other side, using silicone tubings. We just insert them a bit to sit like this. We set two tubings on each line of shallow chambers, then we'll set another layer of sanded grout mixture. We'll just surround the tubings first so they won't move or stumble. Then we fill up the remaining free space, or until we reach the level of the deep chambers. Then we put the other glass cover. Tighten the nuts on each bolt. We also set clamps in between the bolts for added pressure while it dries. Let's check this side first with the pre-made chambers. Looks good. Let's put the cover back for now, to prevent scratches as we'll work on the other side next. We didn't make the chambers here using sand, as I'm planning to carve them. To do that, let me figure out where are the tubings that we planted, as some of them got covered. We need to know their location, as we'll be integrating them to the chambers we're going to carve. Anyway, there's a bunch of shallow holes on this side, so to eliminate most of them I need to integrate them on the chambers positions as well. So we'll be having lots of curves on the chambers here. If you plan to carve it manually by hand like this, the best time to do it is after 24 hours buddies for an easier job. Since this had been dried for 48 hours, it's a little hard now for carving. At this time it's more convenient to use a mini grinder or router to carve. We're carving the chambers with a maximum depth of 10 mm. This way, there will be a 6 mm thick wall in between the shallow chambers. On manually carved chambers we can connect them by carving two like this, or by drilling in between. Let's remove the remaining cover on the other side, then rinse the whole nest with water. And it's here after the rinse. Let me know buddies if which of the two type of chambers you like more. Is it the one with pre-made and done with sand chambers? Or the manually carved nesting space? If you're gonna ask me, I like these pre-made ones more. As you may notice, I used them on our builds most of the time. I just love the rough texture on the chambers left by the sand. This ant farm may not look that big, but this is a massive spacious nesting space. So let's find out soon if this is enough to house a mature fire ant colony. It's just that the nest is 1 inch thick, and there will be blind spots on the center of the see-through chambers as it will be blocked by the workers and broods from the sides. Just a little disadvantage for the design, but since they are see-through chambers we can light it up easily to get a better view. We can fix the base plate now permanently using acrylic cement, so the nest becomes more stable. Then set the cover up. Anyway, let's see how the hydration works on the ant farm. For the dropper style, we just need to drop water from here to moisten the concrete directly. This is a simple but very effective way of creating a wet area for an ant nest, and with the minimal ventilation offered by the entrance, it won't get dry easily even without a help of a sponge like in the classic hydration system. After the water got absorbed, we'll just drop more, and it will spread to this huge chamber, then to the lower floors. This will make the lower half of the nest extremely humid. And we can easily tell if the concrete has moisture, as it turns darker in color like here. Once you're satisfied with the moisture level, we need to cover the top to prevent evaporation. And since we got the dropper to moisten the concrete directly on the setup, we just need to stack water on the water tower, for additional humidity. That will be their sole purpose, as we won't need to make them overflow anymore, and they'll last for a long time before refill, as this reservoirs can hold up to 30 milliliters of water each. We'll see the ant farm in action several months from now, as I plan on using it for our new experimental fire ant colony. An ant species that thrives in high humidity. Wish you enjoyed the build, as much as I do while making them. I just hope you have learned something from this video guys. Be a genie for the first time, by granting my wish and tapping the like and share button, that would help a lot. This is D Colony, saying goodbye. For now. But hoping to see you on my next videos.